Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Giulia Gambale, and I will be presenting on the second in a three-part series about planning and managing business growth, and this is specific to the marketing plan. I have a presentation, but I also have some materials that I wanted to show as well to kind of help people along. So I'm just going to go to the next slide, which I think is the score slide. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, a little bit about what I'm doing here at this co-working space that I am in, known co-working. And I want to ask you a couple of questions so I know kind of like where I'm going to be starting, because this is a lot of material and I don't want to go over things that you already know. So I'm just going to go over to the next slide, turn it over to Pete for a minute. And so one of the people has video and no audio. Maybe Peter didn't hear him. I don't know. Do you want to, should I put in the chat? Oh, I can go ahead. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to go right ahead with the presentation. Okay. So we're going to be talking about creating a marketing plan. And I think I'm just going to get right into it because we're starting a little bit late. So I want to start with a question, and you can put your answers in the chat or maybe just raise your hand. So let's start with just raising your hands with this one. How many of you currently have a marketing plan for your business? Okay, so we have one raised hand that I see. Do we have any other raised hands? Okay, and how many of you have businesses that are growing, that you know for sure you have a product that you're introducing, or you've experienced growth with your services? Okay, I'm seeing more hands come up, so this is good. 4. Do we have more? 5. I feel like I'm doing an auction right now. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what this is what we're going to cover. The difference between a marketing strategy, a marketing plan, and a marketing campaign, because a lot of times I'll see in my business that when I'm talking to clients that people are interchanging those words and they're not necessarily interchangeable. So I want to talk about that piece of it first. The other thing that I want to talk about is what does it mean to be marketing for growth, right? So there's 2 aspects to marketing for growth. One is, you know, that maybe you have already added a service, or you've added a bunch of products or a line of products or that sort of thing. So that you know that you have this inventory or this set of services that you need to get out there. It's new to clients or customers. So what does that look like, right, for the known? But oftentimes you're marketing for growth because you're expecting growth or you're needing growth in order to sustain yourself as a business. And how do you make that happen? What is it that's going to make that change for you? And then when you're doing when you have a marketing plan already in place, what are the things that changes and what are the things that stay the same, right? So some of the things that stay the same are pretty obvious, and some of the things that change are pretty obvious as well. But there's some things that you know, it's kind of like baseline, like this is based on what your business mission is. And then the big thing, I think, and this is where I'm really going to dive a little bit deeper, is creating and revising a marketing budget. So I'm going to ask another question again where you can raise your hands. And how many of you have an actual marketing budget, right? You have a number on the books that say this is specifically for marketing. I see no raised hand. Okay. Please raise your hands on this one. And And because the second question is, how many of you stick to that number, right, of your marketing budget? All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about that because this is something that that's really important. And I know as a provider of marketing services, this is something that I do, making sure that people have a budget and I know what I have available to help them with their marketing needs is really, really helpful. And I know I have a couple of a couple of other practitioners with me as well. So when we're asking for your budget, we're not asking just to take your money. We're asking you because we want to know what it is that we can put in place for you in order to help you grow your business. Cool. All right. So I'm going to run through this very quickly. How many of you know this already? You don't know this already? All right. So as long as one person doesn't know this already, I'm going to go over it. All right, so here's the differences between a marketing strategy, a marketing plan, and a marketing campaign, right? So I'm starting with the most high level. That's the first difference right here. It goes from highest level to more tactical, right? It's like a funnel. So a marketing strategy connects with your business strategy, right? So one more question. How many of you have a business plan? I want to see hands raised, please. All right, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay. And is the foundation for what the company needs to connect with its target audience and meets its objectives, right? This is super important, right? So whether you have an outline of a plan or you have a sketch of a plan or you have a full full-blown 4 or 5 page business plan, something that just lets you know what your business is. I don't know how many people went to the first of this series, of this 3-part series, but I think that talked most about what a business plan is and what are the components. And the marketing strategy component is a huge component of that particular plan. My suggestion is to take a look at doing a marketing plan or at least sketching out an outline of one, just so you have all these kind of concepts in your head. A marketing strategy outlines business goals, target market, buyer personas, competitors, and value for customers. Okay, so these are all things that you're building this foundation so that you understand when you're growing as a business, we're going to be expanding out to. Okay, so then from there, the marketing plan outlines how you are going to accomplish everything that you established in the marketing strategy, right? So all those things that we just talked about, your goals, how much money you're going to be bringing in, how you're going to be reaching the people that encompass your buyer personas, how you're going to be taking market share from your competitors, right? So, and then constantly and consistently providing value, right? What's that communication that's going to be going on so that those customers come back again and again and again. And then the marketing campaign is focused, it's tactical, and achieves specific marketing goals, right? So campaigns usually fall within the realm of, you have an online campaign going on, right? And you're doing organic social media, for example, or you're doing paid advertising, you're doing a print campaign. But those are all campaigns. Those have set dates, right? They have an expiration date often. And at the end of that expiration date, you're going to be doing measurements. And then when you do those measurements, you're going to be figuring out if you're getting return on investment, right? These are words that a lot of us have heard, but we're going to put all of them into action. All right, how am I doing with everybody? We're all following along now? We're good? Cool. All right. So we're doing a little marketing class right now. And we're going to be talking about 2 concepts in marketing that I'm going to talk about from the perspective of it in a concept view, which is here, and then how we relate to that, to what our real world marketing plan and revising a marketing plan will look like, okay? So one of them, has anybody heard of Ansop's matrix? Okay, this is based on marketing for growth. Have you heard of it? Yeah. You're my person over here who knows the things. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move this over. All right, so we're gonna look at it from the perspective of this matrix, right? So we have existing products, and I would say existing products and services or packages, and then new products, right? So that's the top of the matrix. And then there are existing markets and new markets, right? So when you have a business, right, that is functioning, it's going along, it's moving along, right? You have your existing markets, you know who it is that you're marketing to, and you have your existing products, right? So the focus is going to be market penetration. That's what you need to know about that. Now, if you have existing markets, again, those people that you're trying to reach, your clients, your customers, prospects, that sort of thing, and you have new products, you're thinking about it from the perspective of product development, right? And product development is a whole other, it's a complete course. But basically what that means is when you have existing product, you're either going to bring in new products or new services to meet the needs of those people, or you're going to be expanding on that product or improving the product, and you want to get the message out there about that, right? So an example for me would be, I do a lot of implementation of marketing campaigns, right? And that's done pretty well for me for a while, but it takes time and resources, and I can only charge a set fee. So for me, you know, and I want to have more free time, but I also want to help my clients and customers, and I want them to understand what I'm doing. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to provide a new service. I'm going to do consulting, right? So that is my new service. How am I going to let my existing clients know about that new service? How am I going to communicate that? And how am I going to get more clients within the realm of those buyer personas into that service? Okay, and then when you're talking about, you have your existing products, right? And then you have new markets that you can go into, right? You've understood that there are, you know, there's a whole new group of people, whether it's geographical or behavioral or that sort of thing. And you have that set of products that you want to introduce to them, right? So say you are exporting, or you're going into a new region, right? So that's market development. That's when you're really talking about these marketing campaigns that you're letting new people know about this existing product and what does that look like. And then the last but not least is new markets and new product. Whole new world for everything and everybody. Okay. So then we have another aspect of the marketing concepts, or the 4 Ps, right? Product, place, price, promotion. And I'm not going to get totally into this, but I want you to take a look at what these things are and how it pertains to your marketing plan, right? So the questions and concepts for product. What is your product? What does your product do, right? These are all kind of feature type of things. These are things that you think about when you're advertising that product and service. Does it meet a unified need or provide a novel experience? I'm sorry, an unfilled need or provide a novel experience? Who is your product's target audience? We're going to be talking about that quite a bit. How is your product different from what others offer? Okay, that's a huge one. You know, I go hiking a lot, and there's certain things that I want in my hiking shoes and in my hiking gears, and there's, 6 or 7 different, companies that are coming after me and saying, hey, we got these shoes and we got this back, day pack and that sort of thing. How they communicate to me what the features of that product is helps me make a decision of what I want, right? Then you have your place, right? So your place describes where and how your customers will buy your product or service and how you will reach them. Do you have a brick and mortar store? Does that brick and mortar store also offer on a website where you can purchase online? So I have a client that actually does not ship their products. They have a brick and mortar store. You can order online, but you have to pick up those products. Is that a barrier, right? In this case, it's not a barrier. And we've been able to develop a way in order for that particular client to do very, very well, even though they do not ship, which a lot of people, usually want their products to be shipped. So there's that price range of your products and your competitors' products. Okay, do you have the information about your competitors and what they charge for their products? Or services. Okay, so what is the price range that your target audience feels comfortable paying for your product or service? That's another thing to take into consideration. What price is too high for your audience? What price is too low? And then promotion. So promotion is designed to show customers why they should buy your product and service. And then also the focus is not just on features, right? So when we talked about product and service, we talked about features, but also the benefits as well. And so oftentimes when you're talking about customers who are switching over from one type of product to another, or one service or another, there really has to be this benefit component to it as well, not just the feature. Oh, do we usually take questions after, or we want to do it now? Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Or not. Right, okay, so suppose I'm gonna stick to this for a second. So suppose you are reinvented a common product, for instance, peanut butter and jelly is the old product, and your new product is adding different bread plus cheese, for instance. How do you market a known product with a twist? So again, I think that this goes to some of these questions that are here, right? So if you think about the product question and the promotion question, right? What is the unfilled need or the novel experience that this particular product is providing, right? So that's the question you're really answering with that particular product. I mean, look at what happened with peanut butter. Okay, well, let's just take the peanut butter and jelly as an example, right? So before, peanut butter was just peanut butter, right? It was smooth, it was creamy, you put it with jelly, boom. Okay, well, now you have chunky peanut butter, right? So it has these little crispy, crunchy chunks in them, and people like that. I kind of look like I didn't like it, but I do. Then you have natural peanut butter, right? So
powdered peanut butter.
Despite the fact that you have to, like, I know when you open up a jar of natural peanut butter, you have to mix that stuff up. You just do. So, but the fact that it has the word natural, right? And it may not be organic, that's another word, right? So see how all of these types of peanut butter, they have a description in there. They have this unfilled need, this novel experience, right? The novel experience from creamy peanut butter to chunky peanut butter, right? So how many people were like, I think I want to try chunky peanut butter? And how many people are like, there's all this stuff in peanut butter, like all this crap in there. I like the idea of having natural peanut butter. There's also peanut butter that I know you go to some stores and you just pull a lever and you fill up your own jar of peanut butter. That experience right there is marketing, right? You're being convinced that it's super cool and you're getting a real natural product because you pull the lever yourself to put peanut butter in a jar yourself. Okay, that's marketing. So I hope that answered that question. And I'll get more into it as well, with that in mind. We hit promotion, right? So 4 Ps, right? Stick with me for this. There's 3 more, okay? Because since the beginning of this whole 4P things, I think it was like in the 1968ish or something like that, there's been all these concepts and books and this thing and that thing about marketing. So thinking about people, that's us, that's the customers, right? So your customers are unlikely to separate the product or service from those who provide it, right? So this people experience, this concept of customer-centric marketing, right? Has anybody ever heard of that? It's actually going through the process. I'm going to be talking about process soon, of what does it feel like for a customer, a prospect, a client, to what their experience is, not just the product or service, but the interactions along the way, right? So your staff, that means anyone who comes into contact with the customers, even remotely through something that they have written for the company website, are therefore vital, right? So this includes when you choose a marketing agency or you choose the head of your marketing department or your marketing person, right? You're choosing them to create content, to provide an environment and an experience that reflects you, that reflects your business. So making sure that you have the right people in place along the way. And even to the extent of, I know that like a lot of our websites now online, right? We have AI and we have chat, they call them chat bots and that sort of thing. Or a way for people to get a hold of you, of your organization, of somebody in your organization to troubleshoot or to answer questions, right? So even things like FAQs, having somebody on chat available to you. The availability of a person is important in your marketing plan. Processes is my favorite thing in the world, because I am super unorganized. I'm so unorganized. Processes were originally added for service industries, but increased recognition that process also affects customer experience in product companies as well. And I don't know why this became like this sudden, aha moment. It's like, duh. Okay. As an instructor say that before. And then physical evidence, right? Physical evidence refers to creating proof or reputation promoting a brand's image. And a lot of that means, a lot of times when we do marketing plans or campaigns of some sort, building websites, that sort of thing, we have things integrated like testimonials, both from the perspective of making sure that we have a testimonial on our website or on our Facebook page or on LinkedIn, to, providing for a process by which a client or customer can provide a testimonial or a recommendation, right? So having that process and able to provide a recommendation, whether it be on Yelp or whether it be on Google Maps or something like that, what is that process in order to say, okay, you know what, this company is a good company. They are consistently, providing a good service, and their products, actually provide value, right? We see that a lot in the travel industry, actually, right? Hotels and restaurants and that sort of thing. But like I said, even back to my hiking shoes or my running shoes, before I buy something new, I want to know that there is evidence that these things are actually going to to potentially work for me as well. Okay. Whoopsies. It always goes that new thing. Okay. All right, that's a huge question. I'll get to that in the end of it, okay? And I think again, some of this is going to answer your questions as well.
About peanut butter again?
About peanut butter again. It's making me hungry. Why don't I have peanut butter right now? I didn't have lunch. All right, components of a marketing plan. Okay, so this may be boring right now if you already know about all of this, but I'm going to show you how it changes and it switches and what stays the same and what's different, right? So a marketing plan, and I'm going to show examples of this as well. It states your business's mission first and foremost. Okay, I'm actually working through a lot of both education for myself and with a couple of clients that are or plan to be B corporations. So in B corporations, it's really important for that corporation to communicate their business mission. Okay, determine your KPIs. Does everybody know what KPIs are? I'm going to give you a website, kpi.org. Explains what KPIs are. And I'll get to that a little bit later as well. Identify your target audience. This always is coming up, right? Your buyer personas, avatars is what they call them. Really know who it is that you are selling to. One of the reasons why this is so important, especially as it pertains to a marketing plan and a marketing strategy, one of them is really budget. That's what it is. You know, you can't just randomly broadcast and expect a good return on investment. Describe your content initiatives and strategies. This is really big when you're working with other people. So a marketing team or a marketing agency, having this conversation about what the content of your marketing is and having that be very clear and concise is super important. Clearly define your plan's omissions, right? Why are you not doing certain things, right? Usually we're talking about why are we doing things in a plan, but why are you not doing things? Because it didn't work, because you don't think it's going to work, because you don't have money for it just now. All right, understand what those omissions are, because you may need to revisit it during a period of growth. Define your marketing budget. Huge. Because marketing can really get away from you. There's other aspects of your business where it's a very set amount and you really can't budge from that. Marketing budgets, you always kind of want to throw money into marketing because it's like, I'm not quite getting there just yet, but maybe if I do a little bit of advertising or a little bit more than what what's actually in the pot right now. So you're gambling there. Identify your competition and then outline your plan's contributors and the responsibility. Again, super huge. And really want you to think about a lot of times when people start their businesses and they're solopreneurs, which I was for about 5 or 6 years. And now I have more like, partners and contractors and vendors and that sort of thing. But even so, whoever is contributing to your marketing, and remember way back when we were talking about people, that means staff, right? So if you have a store, you have a brick and mortar, and you have somebody at the register, or if you have an in-store salesperson, if you have an office where you're providing services and you have somebody at the front desk, at the reception, right? These are contributors as much as the marketing agency or a marketing person is. And then clearly define what those responsibilities are. What are you expecting each of these team members to do with you for the agency or for the company, or the organization. All right. So when you're taking in consideration what you're doing for marketing for growth, right? We defined what marketing growth was. Either you already have a new iteration of a product, a new service. You've packaged things up, you've done things differently in your business, right? There's something different in the benefits and features of your product or service. There's been a change, or you are expecting there should be change, or you really need to have a change. Something has to change. Okay, so first and foremost, the thing that is not really going to change, you may change the verbiage of it, and there may be a little bit of like aha moment, but your business mission pretty much stays the same, right? Revisiting your KPI, that's another aspect as well. Confirm and or expand your target audience. This is huge, right? So when we had that Ansop's matrix, and there was either you have new products that will still be important, viable, valuable to your target audience, or you want to expand that audience as well. Okay, describe your content initiatives and strategy. So revisiting that again, go back to your plans, omissions. Are they still something that you don't want to have in that particular plan? Do you want to revisit? So, example of that may be, okay, in my marketing plan, I'm thinking I want to use social media, but there is no way that I am going to be on TikTok. Doesn't fit. Not going to do it. Don't want to. I don't want my face on TikTok. I don't want my business on TikTok. Maybe you need to revisit that. So it's just an example, and it was just a platform. I'm not telling you to be on TikTok. Reevaluate and reassign your marketing budget. So if you're putting money into a campaign and it has given you 0, think about why it's giving you 0 or hasn't met those goals. So oftentimes, it might be the content of the campaign, or it might be something in the process of the campaign. And it could just very well be the marketing, the budget as well. You may have to reassign that budget. You may say, you know what, LinkedIn advertising is so expensive, and I really need to find another platform that's going to be less expensive, but still reaches my target audience. I can still kind of go through that process. Maybe it's Twitter, and go through the process of defining and developing an audience, and then putting my money in there because it's 5 cents per click as opposed to $1.05 per click. I just pulled those numbers out. Those, I don't know if they're real numbers right now. Taking a look at your competition again, what are they doing? How are they pulling market share away from you? Why are they doing it? What are the things that they're doing? And then assess your plan's contributors and their responsibilities, right? So maybe you have to redefine responsibilities. Maybe you have to move people around. Maybe you have to redelegate, that sort of thing. So these are all kind of things that you think about when you're making that consideration for marketing for growth. I'm going to whip through this because I know we started at 12:15, and I know we have questions, but I want to get through the budgeting part, like probably more specifically. Okay, developing a marketing budget. What are the things that we're thinking about when we're doing this? So again, align your marketing budget with your business goals. Where were your business goals? Your business goals were all the way back in your marketing strategy, right? That's the big document that defines everything. It's overarching, right? So go back to your business plan, go back to whatever you scrawled onto a napkin, like, this is what I think I want to do with my business. Anything that's documented, we can look back to it and says, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to sell X amount of widgets. I want to have X number of clients, that sort of thing. Think about brand versus product specific marketing costs. Right? I don't know. Okay. Gonna do show of hands again. Check in with everybody, make sure you're all awake and all. So how many people, when they have their marketing, okay, how many people have marketing budgets? Where were we on that? Just go ahead and raise your hands. I got a hand here. Do you have a marketing budget? I'm looking at you. No? Okay. So, and then in your marketed budget, how do you line item? You line item?
One big thing.
One big thing. Okay, we have one big thing. Do we have any line items? So when we're talking about a marketing budget, the two biggest line items, so to speak, and then you kind of, go into more detail from there, is brand awareness, right? And brand awareness is very general and seems very generic. And it takes up quite a bit of budget. And then you have your product or service specific marketing costs, right? So all the widgets that you're selling, all the, and then from there, depending on how many different types of products you have. So I have a client that's, it's a, oh my goodness, it's a garden center. So it's a garden center, right? So they have seasonal items, they have items that are available throughout the year, right? So tools, gardening tools are available throughout the year because you're always going to need a gardening tool to do something. And then plant bulbs. Well, plant bulbs are, for the most part, in this particular case, plant bulbs, the products only come in, early spring and early fall. Don't question me on this because I'm not the garden center. I'm the marketing person. So those are things to kind of take into consideration when you're doing your marketing campaign. So then the other thing that we're going to kind of go through a couple of slides in is how to calculate your marketing budget, right? And there's a couple of different calculations for that. And one's based on percentage of revenue, and the other one's top down and the other one's bottom up, basically is what it is. And then how to create that marketing budget. Because I'm assuming that some of us don't have a marketing budget because we don't know what the heck we're doing with that. And I'm actually going to provide some templates for that. Okay, and then final considerations when you finally sign off on that budget and you start putting it into implementation.
Those templates will go out with the replay?
The templates will go out with the replay. You can get them from HubSpot. I have like 2 or 3 different resources that I use to kind of help myself and my clients as well, and HubSpot's one of them. I'm gonna have some water because I've been talking. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna boop over. Here we go. Remember we were talking about the difference between brand versus product marketing, right? Purpose, budgeting, types of campaigns. So I'm hoping that this sort of thing, this is going to go out as well to everybody. So I'm not going to like go into great detail with this, but this is just some of the examples. The purpose of brand marketing, build or maintain brand image or awareness. We talked about that. Okay, all set there. Purpose for product, marketing, promote a particular product to drive sales, right? So this is part of the top of the before top of your sales funnel, right? So I'm assuming that everybody has some sort of sales funnel as well. So particular product, particular type of product, this is existing products, when you bring a new product or a new service on board, and you're very specifically, you already have the brand awareness and now you're just bringing, these products in.
So Peter messaged me that he's not gonna make closing remarks because nobody can hear them, but we will, like, just reminder that they stop right at one.
Okay,
So,
oh, 7 minutes
yeah, so you wanna have time
to do that, okay. All right, I'm gonna talk really fast right now. Then I'm gonna send you the rest of the stuff, and hopefully I can get a couple of questions. Okay, so budgeting, long-term with more consistent or fixed budgets, okay, for brand, because again, brand is a constant. Brand is always there. It's like your business mission. Product, short-term with more variable, it's KPI-driven budget. Go to kpi.org. I can have a whole conversation on KPIs, but we're not going to do that today. Types of campaigns. So for brands, we're talking about sponsorships, right? Put a sign out on a golf course, sponsor the Little League game. Your name is there. That's basically all they really can give you. Guest blogging or podcast appearances. That's something that's, really been happening a lot lately. Traditional TV and print ads, still around. Display ads and native advertising. So that's your online ads that are like, on a variety of websites and that sort of thing. Branded social media hashtag campaigns. For products, PPC ads, right? Pay-per-click ads. There are campaigns for specific product-related keywords. Paid influencer promotions featuring your product, giveaways of your product. See how it all says product or service? Content marketing campaigns with solution-focused blog posts and tutorials, right? And I'll have something that goes out for that as well. Okay, so how to calculate a marketing budget, really quick. 11.2%. That's the number. 11.2% is the average percentage of revenue allocated to marketing. So who tells you this? If this is not your business, your boss tells you. If it is your business, your accountant may tell you that this is the amount of money that's available to you to allocate to budget. The budget is a percentage of total company revenue in the yellow box to the left. Your marketing goals tell you what your spend will be, right? So there's a little formula down at the bottom, marketing operational cost, plus the goal number of how many widgets you want to sell, how many clients you want to have, equals the total budget spend. Again, this will be in the documents, the templates that I'll send over to you. Doopy-doo, I skipped one. Okay. This is just like another little image infographic, and it just kind of shows where allocation is as it pertains to usually for B2C companies, and then just data that we had, and then B2B companies as well. All right. So where does the money go, right? And these are just, again, some examples of kind of like the larger, bigger picture of where marketing budgets usually go. And I'm going to go from the bottom up. Employees and contractors working on marketing related efforts, right? So you got to pay people. Tools and software used for marketing related efforts. These are things that sometimes we don't think to have in our marketing budget because we're thinking of the top 1, 2, 3, 4, the top 6 things, right? Website design and development. Well, somebody has to do that, but you do need to allocate for website design and development, obviously. If you're going to have pay-per-click ad campaigns, if you're going to have organic social media campaigns, email marketing campaigns, the bottom 2 are all related to the top 6. Content creation, right? Because oftentimes, unless you're a solopreneur or you have a very, very tight budget, you're not the only one who's going to be doing this. And then again, print, TV, radio, direct mail, and other traditional campaign channels. I guess people still do that. I don't do that. But it does, it happens. And then the last thing that I wanted to cover, because I have 2 minutes, is this measuring and tracking ROI formula, right? So it's define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, right? So all of these are defined. The number of people who will see your marketing effort, measure the defined metrics while your campaign is running. Make sure that you have some way of analyzing that data and that you're able to understand, or somebody can interpret the data for you. Improve underperforming campaigns or component of your plan, and then document that whole process. I can't stress enough, document how important documentation is as it pertains to the campaign. All right, 12:58. So I'm going to try to get one question, and I have one thing to say. First of all, thank you. This is how you can reach me. Do we have questions?
You have that one.
Do I have that big question? Lena, did I answer your question with anything that I said? All right, I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna send information over, and that will help you, and you can we can have a sidebar conversation if it's more complex than that. I want to thank you very much for coming to this. I'm hoping that you were able to take away something that was helpful to you. Oh, you're welcome. I also just want to say that here at Known, one of the things that I do amongst owning a business and helping with the Knownpreneur program is here at Known, we have something called the Next Level Coaching Program. So it is a 90-day focused area business blueprint that we set up for you, and then we help you with your goals. We make sure that this is very focused, very goal driven in 5 areas, one of them being marketing. I'm going to send information about how you can have a 20-minute discovery call with me, and along with the other materials. And here is the slide once again, Fairfield County SCORE. I want to thank SCORE very much for having me on as a facilitator for this. SCORE has over 100 volunteer business mentors with a wide range of experience and expertise. And they have one-on-one business mentoring, business education programs. I spend a lot of time online and checking out what their programming is. Extensive resources, including business tools and information. So you have the information for that as well. Again, I want to thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, Giulia.
Thank you. Are we all done?